Hey, welcome to today's broadcast. This is actually a different kind of a broadcast because we're working off of a different premise. And for our fundamental work that we're doing in news analysis, we decided that there's so much coverage of aspects of news that we want to go down into the unrecognized stories. That is the things you haven't heard about, the things you've already heard about. And so I got Mercedes Sparks with me here today to keep me on the straight and narrow path of journalistic integrity in the event that I should suddenly have a synaptic incoherence and start quoting facts that I'm making up spontaneously to support my arguments.
And or decide just to walk away in the middle of a broadcast,
and
which
I have
has
walked
happened.
away. I have walked away in the middle of broadcast,
And
but
yes.
that's because you're talking and I wanted to get a cup of coffee.
I know.
And I just got up and left, which created
Yeah.
trauma on the set because I'm very comfortable trusting you and just getting up and wandering around.
Yes, I'm not as I'm more concise though in the things that I say. That's why it's a good balance because you have the gift of just language and wordsmithing, and I'm very much more like, and I'm done. I've said my thing.
It gives any gift overextended can become a weakness. But I remember how my name's Lance, as you might know, and so I used to make up my name when I was younger, and I used to call myself Lancelot because I liked the name Lancelot. And I remember going to a doctor. My mother was so offended by this doctor because I sat there yakking away as he was talking to me to check me out for, I don't know, tonsillitis or something. And I'm talking and talking, and he said, "What is your name again?" I go, "Lancelot." He goes, No, your name is Talk-A-Lot." My mother said, "Can you believe that?" I never went back to that doctor again. It's like, actually, I think he had a gift of discerning there.
That's so funny. Plus, you have a name you like where you've thrown out there, which we've never pulled the trigger on. But it's this name that you have, Lance LaChance, that if you ever get into radio...
Nobody let me do this. I honestly wanted to do this, and I get these ideas that I hope to God on my deathbed I don't look back and say, why didn't I just do it? Sometimes it's not a good idea, but this is one. I submit it to you. I submit it to you, the audience, right now, if this would not be a great name. I was being introduced once, and in former life, I was in marketing and business and sales and theater. Believe it or not, I was in theater doing comedy and stuff, and then I became a Christian and thought the best way to serve God is to be pious and plant churches and be a minister. But that didn't work out that well, and I ended up doing broadcasting. But here's what the story is. I was at a special dinner with Pastor Dave LaChance. Now, Dave LaChance and I, we put our churches together for a special dinner, and we brought a DJ out for an event. And the DJ knew that it was Pastor Lance Wallnau and then Pastor Dave LaChance, and he got confused. And he introduced me as, "Ladies and gentlemen, a man whose name I envy. If I could have been born with this name, I'd be a DJ. Everyone know. I want you to meet Lance LaChance." And I went up to him and explained, no, it's Dave LaChance, it's Lance Wallnau. And I never forgot that, Lance LaChance. What if we had from coast to coast the morning news coming with its unique Pentecostal dimension from
unique.
Lance LaChance? Wouldn't that roll off your tongue? You remember it better than Lance Wallnau. Nobody remembers Wallnau.
No, Wallnau's really memorable, though.
Well,
People
building
really
the
know
wall now
Wallnau.
since Trump was around.
Exactly. I like to introduce you to people like, well, what's his last name? And it's like Wallnau, like build the wall now. It's a great last name. Very memorable, if you ask me. So, but yeah, Lance LaChance might work. But anyways, let's move on because this Bannon audience is all about action, action, action.
I know. Yeah, well, you know what? I get tired of the action. I get tired of the action. I think we should have planned lethargy. I think we should have intentional moments of intense lethargy because there's people that are out there spinning their wheels. One of the things that I like doing now, which I'm grateful for the Bannon audience for, because what I've done is I have begun to identify the 7 or 8 actual activist groups that are doing something. And now what I'm doing is I'm starting to drive traffic to the people doing something because everybody is anxious to get a result, but not everybody is doing something intelligent to get there. So let's take a look at one. All right, let's cover what's happening with this variant that's going on now. And now that I know a little bit about Dr. Oz and his thing on Hannity, I'm a little surprised about this. that Dr. Oz is throwing his hat in the ring as a Republican in Pennsylvania. I was a little suspicious of this because I see a lot of these celebrity people that want to get involved with politics, then politics, celebrity. Looks to me like they're building a brand image and stuff. And
Yeah, I was worried. I was thinking he's a rhino. I'm like, he's running in Pennsylvania. He's one of these. He's in Hollywood. Like, what's the deal with this guy? Is he the real deal? But he was on Hannity recently, and I was really surprised by what he was saying.
Well, let me put this back in my ear because I realize I need to hear this.
I know you always take that thing out, and it's like it's
well,
almost
I know.
like
it's mission control. For you that are watching this, you can see I got some in my ear. Hey, could you guys play this in Denver? Can you play that? We're jumping around a little bit, but I want to get that Dr. Oz thing in here because it does deal with the corona situation. So go ahead, let's play this and listen to how well The View. These guys are called The View, right?
Yeah, they were quite shocked too.
Oh, they're just like the cheering squad for the devil out there. So let's see how they react to his announcement.
The TV doctor, Mehmet Oz, wants to be the next senator of Pennsylvania.
Oh, God.
Let me close my lips. But it's pretty clear whose vote he's courting when he went on Sean Hannity last night. Take a look.
Remember the phrase 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? That metastasized into this incredible authoritarianism, overreaching, that did not necessarily make us safer. Remember they closed the parks, they shamed people about beaches, right? And now they're threatening the same overreach for the Omicron as you were just talking about. I think those choices should be yours, the American people's.
I would say I'm an America first, make America great again conservative. How would you describe in just a sentence your political ideology?
I match yours. I think this country has all the building blocks to be spectacular.
What happened to him? What happened to him? He's gone over to the dark side.
Oh, my God. I know.
It's hard to see a doctor saying that.
The TV doctor.
Gone over to the dark side.
What happened to him?
What happened to him?
What happened to him?
You know what these guys remind me of? It's strange though. It's like CNN. Nobody really watches CNN. I think the ratings are driven by people like us. It reminds me like when I was a kid and I had a loose tooth. I mean, you ever have this experience? You got a loose tooth, and it's kind of loose. And once it's a weird thing, but you start to suck on the tooth. You don't want to pull it out. It's not ready to come out, but there's almost like you're preoccupied with the pain of the tooth. I watch this stuff, and it's like I'm preoccupied. I'm having pain. The attitude is so bizarre, and I haven't seen Whoopi in a long time. Last time I saw her was in a couple of movies, Sister Act, I think. So I haven't seen her in a long time. And now that I'm watching The View again, I'm saying to myself, why is it that they are popular? But that does represent.
Who are they popular with? I mean, who? What women? It's a whole panel that parrots the same worldview. Because I only pulled a minute of that clip for us, but it goes on for 5 minutes. And they're like, who would sacrifice your children? Dr. Oz, he's gone to the dark side. I'm like, what in the world? It's like, it's so intolerant. The thing that's so frustrating is it's so intolerant of another person's worldview. It's shaming. They're in there shaming Dr. Oz. I'm like, this guy's had you on his program, because he's got a huge program too. And it's like, so, they go on when they write books, or they do other things. He's like, he seemed like such a nice man. It's almost like discovering like he's a pedophile. It's like that level of disgust. And I'm like, my goodness.
No, and it's hypocritical because you could hear the subliminal messages, the TV doctor. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the TV dinner. It's not a real doctor.
Yeah.
It's a TV, unless he's on their show promoting something that they like, in which case he is a phenomena.
I'll share the whole clip. I'll put it on, I don't know if you want it on your social media, I'll put it on yours, but I'll put it up on mine. Because the whole 5 minutes, I mean, they go like, you're willing to sacrifice children. Because he had said something along the lines of like not having children vaccinated. Like there's a risk there with it. And we should really get to opening schools. And if we open schools, you'd be this type of a percentage we might be looking at. And they were just like, you would sacrifice our children. I mean, like, it is just, in my opinion, it's such a low information female that is their target market that just hears what they say and then parrots it back like it's groupthink. So anyways, I'll stop.
I think that there's an opening. I don't know if I think people are trying to do a show like that, but you got to have like 4 conservative women. that are really outspoken. And honestly, the Christian audience has to loosen up a little bit, because you have to be able to reach over into the secular pagan culture, because that's where we got to reach. And so you're going to have a bandwidth for, it's like the TikTok you were showing me about which I want to show, about the Omicron variant with the guy that's got this new.
Oh yeah, don't really. You see, I get these jokes, and then you tell the joke.
Well,
and then
I'm not
going.
All right, so I'm not going to tell them how do you want.
You're a comedic genius, but you're like, here's the punchline.
Well,
to everybody.
the point is, if the guy uses one word, they got people that go into like a Tourette's reaction if they hear one word that they don't like, one bad word, which is comedy normal for a secular audience. But when we come back, I'll play it for you, but I'm telling you ahead of time, it's very funny. But, somebody might be offended. I'm just saying, because people can be offended.
What would he be offended about? A joke?
Well, he might use one. I think he uses a bad word.
Oh, does he?
That you see, you're so
actually,
you are so desensitized that you didn't even notice. But I noticed it because I haven't. Okay, we got 1 minute left. I want to start talking about this for a second. It's this new variant that is kind of the Omicron, by the way. It's O for the O. You're hearing Omicron. Dr. Oz even, strangely enough, mispronounced it.
I think it's Omicron.
No, it's Omicron. It's the kind that if you do the Greek alphabet, the Greek alphabet, you'll find out it's O. Omicron.
I don't know. With you, I never know. Honestly.
Do the Greek. I want you guys to tell what you do. Go to YouTube and you can hear them singing the Greek alphabet. I had someone do it for me today.
Singing?
I had a business call today, and they said, well, I sing the Greek alphabet, which I learned in college, and I'm the epsilon, and they went through the whole thing, and it's Omicron. I said, oh, it's O. She said, well, only if you understand Greek.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we will talk more about this new variant.
But we have a serious conversation about the variant because there's something about this which is highly suspicious. I told you we're going to give you new news cycles. Hello, my friends on Facebook and Instagram. I have something for you, something which is going to be going away very quickly, so I want to make it available to you. I did an analysis a year ago of the characteristics of a religious cult or a religion in general that becomes an unhealthy obsession. And I realized as I was doing my research that many of the researchers I'm studying are saying that the progressive left is becoming, with its woke movement, more and more like a religion with their own sense of the sacred, their own required confessions and words, and their own blasphemy laws. And I started to realize, oh my gosh, the woke progressive left is like a counterfeit awakening. That's why it's called an awakening. And it's merging with politics to put a new form of religious merger with government over America. I want you to be the first one to understand this subject because it's already here. Go to lancewallnut.com. I've made it simple. At the top of the page, you can download the free chapter from my book that describes the counterfeit religion, the progressive fundamentalism that's taking over America or attempting to and provoking a backlash. That's lancewallnut.com. Please go there, download the free chapter on the page because it's only going to be up a little